I chose Game 3 of the 1988 Stanley Cup Finals for a couple reasons. One, two very good hockey clubs playing in the Stanley Cup Final. Two, most importantly, the difference of the size of the ice surface in Boston. Today's game, the ice surfaces are pretty much similar in every city. This rink was built in the 20s, I believe, and so the ice surface is smaller, so it becomes a little bit different hockey game. And with our hockey club being so fast and puck moving, became a little bit more difficult. And if you looked at our record, in 9 years in the Boston Garden, we only won 2 hockey games. So this was a great test for our hockey club going into Game 3, having a 2-0 lead. We came out of the gate pretty strong, doing a lot of good things, and we're trying to silence the crowd because the Boston Garden only being 14,500 seats but being very small, the crowd is very much on top of you, a lot like the Boston Celtics or the LA Lakers when they play basketball in that arena. It's very noisy. So what we tried to do was try to utilize our speed, and with the small ice surface, it became a little bit more difficult than a normal situation. And as you can see, our timing takes a little bit of getting used to with our speed. Consequently, we had a few icing calls and a few offsides early because there's less room between blue line to blue line compared to a normal ice surface. What we were very adamant about was that we wanted to come out and try to get a lead against the Boston Bruins in their home building and on this ice surface. We started off okay. We had some nice forecheck. We were keeping them to the outside as much as possible. Of course, we always knew that Grant Fuhr was so good back there that he could be a difference maker. But things don't always go according to the script, and their team was very aggressive and came out very hard. We tried to get pucks in deep, and right here we're trying to get it in deep. It's a giveaway inside the blue line. Bad play by number 99. They come down 3-on-2. Turns into sort of a 2-on-1. And before we know it, we're down 1-0. And one of the worst things you can do in a building that you're not overly comfortable with, in a team that's had a pretty good success against you guys in that building, is to go down 1-0. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to our hockey team. But we still tried to stick to what we believed in, and that was to keep puck moving forward, keep the flow, keep our attention to detail. We were a solid team defensively, tried to create opportunities, good play defensively, but again, the size of the ice surface does come into play for our hockey club that's used to that freewheeling open ice, and you don't get a whole lot of open room in the Boston Garden. But again, the game's overly physical. You can see Mark Messier always was a presence, always finishing his checks. And checks early in the game continuously wear down teams. And you're hoping that by late in the game, those guys are physically tired and mentally a little bit more tired. So down 1-0, and we get a power play, and we're hoping to change the momentum of the hockey game. Unfortunately for us, again, we're not in the best situation. They're very comfortable killing penalty in the Boston Garden. We're trying to do everything we can to get the pucks in deep and try to create some open ice. And Curry makes a nice play to keep it in. We try to keep moving the puck around. We're always trying to keep somebody in front of the net to be a screen or a decoy and try to create havoc on the goaltender. But again, it's early in the game, and we're just trying to establish some momentum. As you can see, the players are on the ice. It's a very physical series. The hockey's extremely aggressive. The one thing you don't want to do is take penalties, especially against that team in their arena. They're very comfortable on the power play, and they had one of the best power play defensemen ever in Ray Bourque. And we knew that one of the things we had to do was stay out of the penalty box. The Boston fans had 25 years of two of the greatest defensemen ever in Bobby Orr and Ray Bourque to watch each and every night quarterback their power play. We knew how good he was and how important he was to their hockey club. We did everything we could to try to minimize his chances. That might look like a long shot, but in that size ice surface, it's not as long a shot as people would probably think it is. As the game wore on, we were starting to settle in and feel good about our team and feel good about our game, that we were getting more and more comfortable every shift with the ice surface. And when we did make mistakes, we knew that our goaltender was so good that he was going to come up with some big saves, like that one. This play here might have been the turning point in the entire series. Open net, chance to make it 2-0, and a home team. If you go up 2-0, it becomes more and more difficult. That could have easily have been the difference in that series. Fortunately for us, it went off the post and we were able to keep it only 1-0. The big key to success in any power play is not to be standing still, because it is 5 against 4. You have that extra man. So the key is to keep moving at all times. And secondly, you always want to have a guy creating havoc in front of the net. So you sort of designate that one person that's going to be the front man, almost as a guy that can tip it or to be a screen. Each and every line knew what their responsibility was. And so as the season goes on, it becomes way more familiar and you get way more comfortable, and you just do it out of being monotonous. One of the things that we always tried to do when we did have the puck is that we want to drive the net. And in this particular goal, what happens is when you come out of your own zone, you hit the centerman in the slot, and the two wingers drive the net. That pushes the two defensemen back. And by pushing those two guys back, that allowed me to take the shot. And with that shot was a rebound, and now we're in a 1-1 hockey game. So we're feeling really good coming in after the first period, 1-1. One of the things that we talked about continuously was to stay out of the penalty box, to not disrupt the flow of our team. What happens with penalties is certain guys don't get on the ice, takes away some ice time and the flow of that particular player, because not everyone kills penalties. So one of the things we really tried to concentrate on was not to take penalties, and make sure yet we still had a big physical presence throughout the hockey game. As the game goes on, as you can see, we're trying to keep the puck and the momentum in the offensive zone as much as possible. Mark Messier in great position there to be a third guy high. Marty's able to pinch and create a turnover, and we get a shot on net. And as the year goes on, you get more and more comfortable with the system that you're playing, and everyone to a man knows his responsibility for the good of the team. Right now the game is getting a little bit more physical. Nobody wants to make that turnover. As you can see, Boston keeps dumping it in deep, which they should do. We're trying to counterattack and move the puck up as quickly as possible. And you try to play as much as you can on the outside of your blue line. They used to always say the more the puck is in their zone, the less chances or opportunities they have to score. Right there is a really bad giveaway by number 99. At that point in the game, you can't turn pucks over just inside the blue line. But fortunately, we were able to come out of it and regroup and take the puck into their zone. But again, as you see, one guy's on the puck and one guy's immediately backing him up. and being in the right position to give him support. When we do break down, Grant Fuhrer happens to be one of the greatest goalies who ever lived and creates a 3-on-1 opportunity for us the other way. You talk about time and time again not giving the puck away in your zone, and although we almost lost it a couple times, everyone battles to make sure that defense is the number one issue and to make sure the puck gets moving the other way. Again, you know, you can't turn the puck over just around the blue line, just around their zone, because it leads to offensive opportunities for their hockey club. In this particular episode, they take a penalty that's probably unwarranted, maybe out of frustration, maybe emotions are high, but you just can't take a penalty like that. Consequently, we get a power play because of the ensuing penalty, and it seems to change the momentum of the hockey game midstream. Halfway through the hockey game, we get a power play, tied 1-1 on the road, and that can be the difference in the hockey game. So having a power play in this arena is a little bit different than most arenas because of the size of the ice, and I hate to keep talking about it, but it is a difference. You have to make sure that you support each other wherever you are on the ice, because they defensively can have people in position at all times. So you have to make sure if they have one guy there, we have 2 guys. They have 3 guys there, we have 4 guys. You just don't have as much room to process the whole situation. We do a nice job of trying to spread out, open up the ice, and what we're trying to do here is we're trying to draw somebody to come out from the slot area. They protect their net pretty solidly. Their defenseman is guarding between me and the winger. The forward is blocking the pass from me to the defenseman. And of course, our player in front of the net is being checked by their defenseman. So the whole process is to try to get somebody to move out of position as quickly as possible. I got the defenseman to move a hair to the right, throw it more towards the front of the net. Jari Kurri goes down to the net, which sort of creates a little bit of havoc that opens up the ice for number 10 Tikkanen. And Glenn Anderson makes no mistake and walks out, and Tikkanen tips it basically into the empty net. The power play was a big key to us getting up 2-1. That seemed to give us some juice and energy for the rest of the hockey game. What was strange about the hockey game also was the fact that the arena doesn't have air conditioning because it was so old. We had, I believe, around 15 fans in the locker room to try to cool off because it was extremely hot outside. As you can see, the fog is starting to settle in on the ice, and it became, as the game went on, more and more difficult to really see the puck. Today's game, they probably would stop the game. Back then, it could happen in a lot of different arenas because of how old the buildings were, but as you can tell, it becomes harder and harder. Throughout the game, during timeouts, TV timeouts, they would have both teams skating around at their respective ends to try to lift and get rid of the fog that was settling into the ice. So to be a really good hockey club, you have to play everyone on the same page. As you can see, Randy Gregg pinching there, Greg Simpson behind him for support, Mark Messier is behind him for support. We make a really good turnover inside their blue line. We get it to Glenn Anderson, and as much as you rely on the success of the team playing as a team, you need some individual skill and talent, and Glenn Anderson was one of those guys for us. and scores a really just beautiful goal in a big situation to give us a 2-goal lead, which really started to make us feel very comfortable, because at that point in time we didn't allow a lot of goals against in the first game in Edmonton, second game in Edmonton, and now only 1 goal against in Game 3 in the Boston Garden. But this play was textbook. So now we're feeling really good about ourselves. And the thing about this hockey club, now this is our 5th Stanley Cup final in 6 years. As good as we were offensively, it was a very stingy group defensively. As you can see, each and every opportunity, if we didn't have a good chance to score, our focus was to get the puck in behind their net, make them take it 200 feet from their inside of their blue line down to our end. And we felt very comfortable holding a 2-goal lead late in the second period. And again, defensively, we clogged the middle. As hard as it is for our hockey club to play in the smaller rink, it's just as difficult for the Boston Bruins, because you don't have a lot of time. And again, our defenseman stands up, makes a play. Jari Kurri's there to support him. And we're able to release the puck and get it back in the Boston Bruins zone. And as you can tell, we're not sitting back. One of the things that we were known for was, if it was 3-1, our goal and ambition was to make it 4-1. We weren't thinking that we were going to win 3-1. We just felt like as a team we had to create more opportunities and we had to get up 4-1. And our mindset never changed. And as good as we were offensively, our team was very solid at killing penalties when it mattered most. We had some of the best, biggest, hard-nosed defensemen in hockey, with guys like Kevin Lowe and Craig Muni and Randy Gregg. And they would give up their bodies at any point in time to help our goaltender. It became like a fence. It became very difficult for teams to penetrate that wall. On a side note, Craig MacTavish, the last player not to wear a helmet in the National Hockey League. So now we know, up 3-1, up 2-0, heading into the third period. We know one of the things that we don't want to do is give up a goal early. We don't want to take an unnecessary penalty early. We don't want anything negative to change the flow of the hockey game for us. So our mindset is to forecheck, as Glenn Anderson is doing. One guy hounding the puck at all times. Having support by his teammates. As you see Craig Simpson going into pressure. They dump the puck in, but we have guys back. We battle for the puck. We still have great support there. They're not going to score from that far out against Grant Fuhr. As you see Kevin Lowe quickly moving on the puck. And again, we turn the puck over, and here we go again offensively. We're experienced enough hockey club at this point of our careers that everything we get is going to be dumped in deep and kept in their zone. Very aggressive on the puck, not giving their players any time at all to handle the puck. If we do turn it over, we have a guy right there to help support them. The key for our success is to be hard on the puck and keep the puck in their zone. Again, you know, everyone's in their position, and we don't want to stop forechecking. As you can see, we keep the puck in. They have 3 guys deep there. We only have 1 player in the play, which happens to be me. They misread the puck on this particular play. The puck sort of rolls off the defenseman's stick to me and Esa Tikkanen, who's there to support me defensively, and Jari Kurri, who's high in the slot. So we have 3 players in really good position, and we end up scoring a back-breaking goal to make it 4-1. And when you're playing as well as we are at this point in time in the game, a 4-1 lead is pretty insurmountable. They know it at that time, and we know it. And the key is not to get ahead of ourselves and to realize we still have 15 or so minutes to go in this hockey game. This play here is pretty much textbook what we wanted to do. Dump the puck in, have a guy hard on the puck, have a defenseman in position, and get the puck back in deep. When you have a 3-goal lead, you want to score another goal, but what you're thinking too is we got to keep the puck in deep, we got to be smart, and we got to be good defensively. And again, our defenseman pinches, we have players supporting him, and we're able to get the puck and retrieve it and keep them from getting an offensive opportunity. Again, we get the puck in deep. We got one guy on him and 2 guys supporting. They were fortunate to break out, but it wasn't a clean breakout, and we created an offside. We know that Ray Bourque's one of the best defensemen in hockey. He always jumps in the play. He makes a great play there. We maybe got caught cheating offensively a touch, and he makes a nice play anticipating, jumps in the play. And Kenny Linsman, who I played with, is very smart with the puck. Happens to get a little bit of a break, and it's a 4-2 game now. Again, we're trying to go at Bourque. We're trying to make him work the whole ice surface. We're battling against him, keeping the puck in deep, trying to make him be back there as much as possible because he was so good with the puck that he could change the game in one shift. So even though it's 4-2, we're doing everything we can to keep the pressure on Boston Bruins in their zone. We're trying to create as much havoc down there as possible. As a group, we realize and we understand in each and every guy what their responsibility is. And the success of a good hockey club is always the fact that you support each other all over the ice. So it's 4-2, and we know that we're still in for a hockey game, that their arena is very loud, and we have a really good shift from a very strong, talented line. We keep the puck in deep. Glenn Anderson's on the top of the goaltender. Craig Simpson stays in front of the net. He stops there. He doesn't just float by there. And Anderson makes a great play. And now all of a sudden, it's a 5-2 hockey game, and there's only a little bit of time left. I'm feeling obviously way more confident now that we should be up 3-0 in this series. Fog's getting worse. But when you play in the Boston Garden, they have such great fans. You know their energy level is going to go up, and they seem to get a little enthusiastic here. It's 5-2. We're playing pretty solid, smart hockey, as you can see, supporting all over the ice, getting the puck in deep, trying to keep the puck down in their zone as much as possible. You know, as a team, as good as we were offensively, defensively, and position-wise, this team was about as good as any team I've ever seen. And what can I say about that Grant Fuhr? To me, he was the greatest goalie who ever lived. He just went about his business. He didn't care if we won 9-8 or 1-0 as long as we won. To me, he was the best goaltender who ever lived. Again, one of the things you don't want to do is take a penalty late, especially when you're up in the game. I didn't do a very good job of getting the puck out of our zone. Mark is in great position. They come out and they score kind of a fluky goal, but it happens. And now, all of a sudden, feeling really comfortable and confident at 5-2, we now realize we're in for a helter-skelter ending, and we've put ourselves into a situation where we've kind of knocked the bees out of the beehive. Cam Neely was one of their best players. He worked hard all the time. He's in good position here. As they say in hockey, you shoot it to the net, you never know what'll happen. And he takes a shot to the net. Grant probably wasn't quite ready, and all of a sudden it's a 5-3 game. So what becomes very important is the very next shift. You want to make sure that you get the puck going in deep. Our line is out there trying to move the puck forward, trying to forecheck as hard as possible, clog up the middle, keep the puck in their zone. 3 guys circling and being around all their players at all times. They dump it in, we have enough people back, we're supporting each other on the boards. Nobody's running around, nobody's panicking. We want to make sure we get the puck out, and we create an opportunity offensively. Probably a really bad pass by 99, but probably should have shot the puck at that point in time. Again, Steve Smith calmly gets to center ice, dumps the puck in. Although it looks like a nothing play, what it's doing is keeping momentum in their zone and obviously killing seconds that are precious off the clock. Now we take a kind of a suspect too many men on the ice penalty, but it happens. And now 5-3, not much time left, and we've got to kill a penalty. So now this has really made Game 3 really interesting. I'm told you're not allowed to have that many guys on the ice. I guess it's a rule. So 5-3, killing a penalty. What we're trying to do is keep them to the outside as much as possible. We want to just get pucks and retrieve them and get them down the other zone. I didn't get it out there. Not a very good play on my part. Cam Neely makes a nice shot, and again, Grant Fuhr makes a big save that preserved the 2-goal lead. So even though we're killing a penalty and it is 5-3, we're not going to sit back and take anything lightly. So again, we get a chance, we get a sort of a break. The worst thing you can do is lose the puck just inside the lines. If we don't get that opportunity, we want to get it back to our defense to make sure that it goes to the other way. As you see here, we have 3 guys back. We're all in good position, trying to keep them to the outside, which we're able to do. We're all in battling for our lives here at the last couple minutes to go, but we're in good position. Tikkanen comes back, picks up the puck, brings it down, and again, gets the puck in deep, tries not to do anything fancy, and we make a line change. Again, right to the man with the puck, and we just try to clog up the ice as much as possible so they can't make that clean pass. Offensively, we're just trying to make sure we get pucks in deep and not give them any great golden opportunities, 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s the other way. We always felt that on the road when fans started leaving early that we had done our job. But we also knew there was still a minute to go. Fans were leaving out of frustration, although it was a pretty good hockey game. Their team didn't win, but it was a good game. So we got really confident and comfortable at this point in time in the game with a 2-goal lead. Anderson and Messier, unselfish, get the puck in deep. Glennie still forechecks, stays on his man. Throws it to me. Esa Tikkanen had 2 goals at that time, so it was better him get his 3rd goal than me to get an empty netter. But it doesn't matter who scores, as long as you score. Personally, for me, it was one of the most gratifying wins that I ever had as an NHL player, not winning the Stanley Cup that particular night. But as far as winning a game goes, and a big game, that was one of the best wins I ever had. My late friend Ace Bailey, who was unfortunately perished in 9/11, who worked for us and was a scout and was very proud of us, lived in Boston. I remember the excitement and the emotion that he had after the game, going up 3-0 in the Boston Garden. So for me, it was one of my favorite wins ever as an NHL hockey player.